All right. So next up we have Carla Ferris. How you doing?
Just fine. How are you?
Pretty good. So with that, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Uh, well, my name is Carla Ferris, and I'm from the Kansas City area, and I belong to several photography clubs here, but mostly I do wildlife and landscape photography. But I always try to learn from any other type of photography to see how I can apply it, and just for fun,
Right.
because I'll shoot about anything that gets in front of my camera or that I put in front of it. So although I do mostly wildlife and landscapes, I've done weddings and still life and just about everything.
And if anybody hasn't seen her wildlife photography is just it's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, you travel a lot and you get some amazing shots and see some amazing wildlife. So and I love seeing photographers that dabble in different types of genres and it just collectively just makes all the art a lot better. So how did you discover light painting and how long have you been light painting?
Well, I started in February of 2022,
Okay.
and one of the clubs I'm in always picks contest themes for each meeting, and they pick them in January and put out the list. And they picked it, and they had it. The contest was going to be in March for light painting, and I thought I knew what light painting was from, old days and landscape stuff. But when I looked it up, I found a totally different world that I was kind of intrigued with.
Right.
And so then I got on the light painting brushes, and well, like I said, I found out about the contest in January. By February, I had the deluxe starter kit from light painting brushes
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
and a few other things that I felt like I needed.
Right.
And so just started from there and watching some of the tutorials and videos I found online.
Well, let's screen share here. And we'll share some of your work. All right. So, let's talk about this. These incredible rotations are so clean and beautiful. Tell us about the inspiration here. What gimbal did you use to create these rotations that you do? And
I've
we'll
got
share a couple of them.
Okay, I've got a gimbal head I got about 20 years ago. I'm not sure what model it is. It's a Wimberley. Um, and I had it sitting around that I wasn't using. So I thought, hey, that when I saw Jason Page's deal on light rotations, I had to try it.
Right.
And this one was the inspiration for it was Kentucky Derby time. And I have relatives in Kentucky and everything. And I just decided in honor of the Kentucky Derby, I'm gonna throw in or design a couple of the camera rotations. And so I wanted the Run for the Roses, which you can see in the center. And then I thought the outside, the red and the blue, kind of turned out to look like the silks of the jockey. So then I had to, when I drew the horse on the circle, I had to make the silks the same color as the outside then, so it kind of all blend together.
What I love about it is, you come on here and you're like, yeah, I've been light painting for, maybe about a couple weeks. And then she creates this amazing, perfectly rotated camera rotations, and just nails it. So I just thought they were so super cool and they're so clean and perfectly done. So love these. And so you hand drawn those the horses on there?
Well, yeah, I had a one to kind of go by, but it's not really easy tracing through plexiglass, so I kind of used that and kind of drew them in and kind of traced a little bit.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah, this one right here is absolutely just incredible. Just there's just so much going on here, and it's just beautiful. All and the symmetry is just so good.
well, that one I had just when I had the three, I had to keep moving them around to find out, okay, what's it going to look like, and I've kind of figured out, okay, if things are on the left hand side, they're going to be on the outside row, and kind of figured out where the placement is and kind of go by that.
Right.
And then with this, it's the same three tools. And so I just, rather than focusing on the bottom of the circle, I focused, or I'm sorry, on top, I focused on, I believe, on the bottom, and it gave me a totally different look.
It's great, and like I said, the symmetry is really good. Um, this one right here. So I remember seeing this initially, and this probably it's got to be one of my favorite ones that I've seen you do with the rotation. Can you tell us about this? You know, what light painting brushes tool you used here, and kind of walk us through the process that you did to create this?
Sure. This one I've got basically the universal connectors were the light painting tools I used here, because I have a couple blades from light painting brushes, but these are homemade ones here. And just the triangle and one similar to the unicorn. I think this one's a little bit bigger than the one you get from light painting brushes. But I didn't have one, so I couldn't look at it originally.
Is this liquid chalk?
It is liquid chalk on it, and I just on the triangle one, I just started drawing and just kind of making up a design, and with two of my favorite colors, and so just kind of drew on it to just kind of that design. And then the other one I just did like 3 tones of the pink going up on the unicorn. And that I didn't have any holder or anything for the rotation, so I was actually kind of just trying to set them up,
Right.
you know, on something. And I actually used, if you've ever seen one of those stationary bikes where you can put your regular bike on and you have the front tire, I was using one of those that you set the front tire on, to kind of hold up my plexiglass tools, and kind of stuffing material and finoodles and stuff like that in to get them to stand up, and then covered it with black material, and then to try to get it to actually stand up. And then I was able to turn with the Wimberley, and I was using, I believe, a D500 at this time, and turning it. And I tried several different ones, but this one I really like. This was 24 different steps on the rotation, and about, I think, 15 degrees each rotation. And so I just
It's beautiful. Yeah, perfect execution, and it's just a great rotation. And if I don't know if you've seen it, but in the light painting brushes group page, look up Kashimoto. He's got a setup with PVC pipe that he attaches to a tripod, that you can fit a flashlight right in with a universal connector and attach your tool. I wish I had a picture on here to show you that, but it's
I actually saw that, and I've created one, and so I've got a couple of those set up now. That makes it a whole lot easier than trying to stack it up on something to hold them up.
Right. So let's go to the next question here. So, you know, lately I've been hooked on abstract light painting. It's been just really inspired and captivated by just abstractness. So I've been dabbling in that a little more this year so far. But I remember seeing this online when you shared it, and was really inspired by the flow of this particular pattern you created. Could you walk us through the process here of the center there, that pattern there?
Sure. This was just taken it, and I believe it was from one of the tutorials on light painting brushes, where it's doing the tunnels.
Okay.
And so this is the circular one, and I had just red and blue, I believe, around the outside of my plexiglass. And rather than just dragging it straight out, I just kind of wobbled it back and forth as it went. And I never know what I'm going to get. It's always fun. But I just, that's all that was. So that was starting with kind of the tunnel. And rather than going straight, I just kind of went fairly slow and just kind of wobbled it back and forth.
Yeah, it's an effect that, you know, I love seeing something that I haven't seen before. So that was the first thing that popped out when I saw that particular pattern there. So absolutely love that. Let's Here we have these gels. I'm assuming these are gels, or what did you attach to your tool?
All liquid chalk.
All liquid chalk. Okay.
I like to play with the liquid chalk and the colors.
Yeah, that's really, I for some reason when I saw that I thought of like Willy Wonka or something, but but yeah, I love that texture, and that pattern there is really neat. On this, you know, I absolutely love the spacing you're able to achieve in the next couple images actually. Can you tell us what flashlight you're using for this strobe mode? And also, what camera do you use?
Well, most of these were done on the Nikon D500, and I believe a 8.5 millimeter lens. And with this, I believe I was using the Soonfire. I believe it's the M65,
Okay.
just with the strobe and stuff like that. And on this one, it was just twisting it instead of as I did the tunnel.
Yeah, this hallway effect right there is really neat.
Yeah, it's just like I said, the tunnel, and just trying to hold it as straight as possible with the flashing.
And it's hard to there's a term for it. I'm not even going to pretend that I know the term, but for the strobe effect. You used to be able to buy flashlights that would strobe like this. It'd be that bop, 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 bop. Now you go to the store, buy a flashlight, it's dot, dot, space, dot, dot, space. So these, if you find a flashlight that strobes this way, hang on to it because they're really hard to find.
Okay.
I don't know what the terminology of the name of that is, but there is a name for that particular strobe mode. If anybody knows, throw it in the chat or chime in. So here's another one, just that beautiful spacing there, and same technique, just holding it on the front of the lens and pulling it away there.
Yeah.
You tell us a little bit about this one?
Just like I said earlier, you can tell my favorite colors in a lot of these, the purple and the blues and the greens. And this one just started out just pulling it like normal, and then just kind of took it off to the side. And so I like those because you don't even have to turn everything dark. You can just get up there and play.
And what you said, a Nikon, what camera did you say you use?
Most of these were done on the Nikon D500.
Okay.
I've changed now to I'm doing the mirrorless, the Z6 II.
Awesome. What has been your favorite light painting brushes tool that you found? And why is that? Is there a particular tool that you've become more fond than others?
I like the black fiber optic brush, and mainly because that was one of the first things I started with as I learned how to do the fire.
Right.
And made it like everybody reminds me. I like it. I call it a fire breathing dragon. It's actually a fire breathing triceratops, but
I love it.
all I could find was a skull of a triceratops.
Right.
And my brother, who's an artist, he looked at the first one I did and he said, well, but everything's in orange. You need the triceratops to be a little bit different, like a bluish color since it's night. So I had to go back and redo it for him.
Awesome. What would you tell someone that would like to try light painting for themselves and explore our beautiful art form? What kind of advice would you give to people that want to, try light painting for themselves?
Well, I've actually, the clubs I'm in, I've actually done 3 presentations to different ones and take the tools and try to get people started on it. And I've been able to, one of the clubs has called me back already and had me do an actual kind of little workshop just at a meeting, a couple hours. And everybody showed up and we tried different techniques from drawing to, the tunnels and the orbs and stuff like that. And I always send them to light painting brushes for the tutorials.
Awesome. Well, that's a great place to reference to, and there's a lot of content there for the people that don't know that. A lot of the people here do know that, but yeah, so that's a great place to learn a lot about light painting, and thank you for sharing. One of my favorite things actually is when I see other photographers that create work in other genres. You do wildlife, landscapes, and you decided to give light painting a try. Do you feel that there's a benefit from being, from doing other genres and then trying light painting? Do you think there's some kind of a benefit there?
Oh, definitely. Because I mean, it's all controlling light, whether it's through your camera or through the light painting itself. And learning more about light painting can help you with your other aspects as well, and how to direct the light and things like that. But as I said earlier, I like to learn about all different kinds, because you never know when you're going to run across something and have it go, hey, wait.
We lost you there for a minute.
No, I just think it's important to adapt to any of it, because you never know when you're going to learn something new that you can apply to the type of photography you normally do.
Right. I do myself, I do, weddings, portraits, landscapes. I do all sorts of different genres of photography. And I have found that light painting is a huge part of my creative process through other avenues of photography. I just learn a lot about light, controlling light, and by being more, familiar with long exposure photography, I find that it helps me a lot in a lot of the other things that I do. So I always love seeing people that, again, that do other genres of photography and try light painting, and then they rock at it like you did with those camera rotations. I mean, those are absolutely beautiful. Um, I want to tell you thank you, for joining us this evening. How do we follow along with you, for those that would like to see your work?
Well, if on Instagram, I've got 3 different accounts. I've got C Ferris Light Painting, and then CSFARRKY18 is more of the wildlife and landscapes. And then I have a C Ferris photography on there, or C Ferris photo. I don't remember which one it is now. That is more just general stuff. And then I also have, and I'll put it here in the chat. So
Yeah, please do.
That I have my portfolio on, that mine's all for fun, so I don't do anything else with it. So there's my portfolio, and let me see.
Well, Carla, we appreciate you being here, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. And continue to do what you're doing. And if I could ever be of any help, or you have any questions, please reach out anytime.
Hey, thank you. And I was wanting to say, I've built a what is it, keynote presentation that I've been using at the clubs, and I wanted to thank Laura because I didn't know how to start, so I quoted you from your paper on what light painting is.
Right.
And so I usually start out that way, to kind of what light painting is. So I want to thank you for that. Give me a way to start it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate you being here. So, with that, just want to do some quick shout outs, just some of the work that's being shared. And let's start off with Roy here. The spirograph that he shared. Just love the symmetry here, and just beautiful pink. Just wanted to shout you out for that. And Robert, this whole series you did, man, is just fantastic. I was joking with him earlier because originally Aaron Simmons was the one that created this technique, and it blows my mind that this guy did a kick flick on a skateboard and created one of these images. So that's got to go down as something, in the history of light painting, that will come up somehow or another. But fantastic execution on this. Just love this image that you did here. The whole series actually is beautiful, man. Tiffany Gartner, just a teapot here with the fiber. Just wanted to shout you out and share your image here on the live with us today. Kashimoto, just his rotations keep getting better and better, and just he keeps adding different elements and doing different kind of things. And just wanted to shout you out and share what you're doing there, and just keep up the great work, man. Peter Wood, love these skeletons that you did. This guy, I swear he light paints more than I do. I mean, he's constantly loading and sharing new content. He must go out like every night. So just really appreciate everything you share with us in the group there. Dimitri, man, this was so clean, and I'm so envious of other light painters that have the ability to draw in the air. It's a part of light painting that I struggle with tremendously. Even Jason Page, when I see the letters that he does, because when you're doing lettering and this type of work, you're thinking backwards, because you're facing your camera. Especially with letters, you've got to write that in the air backwards. So I always really appreciate that type of artistry, and with this, just doing the calligraphy is just fascinating. It's just I wish I could do it. But I'm just not very good at doing this type of work, but this is absolutely beautiful. Darren, this is a mask, and I just, it was something so intriguing about that, and just the shadows and the orange there. So just wanted to shout you out and appreciate you sharing with us. Ian Greenwood, believe it's the serpent tool, because the other image that was attached to this showed the serpent tool, just a different color, but love the pattern there and what you did with the tool. And Lisa, so she, Robert shared his, and then Lisa turned right around and did the same thing. So I love seeing that. I love when people take an idea and they throw an image in there, and then other people turn around and try to intimidate that, and share their version of that technique. So keep up the great work. I I wish I could pronounce this lady's name wrong, and I hope if you see this, I apologize, but I believe it's Shawnee. If anybody sees that, if they can correct me. But thank you for sharing this. The unicorn plexi right here is really cool with that purple, and it really stands out. So wanted to shout you out and thank you so much for always sharing with us. I can't see. Yeah, Rick Shaw, thank you so much for sharing. That fiber work right there with the green is really cool. Just simplistic light painting, really nice technique there and nicely done. And that's it. That is all I have for January's edition of Light Painting Brushes. We'll be back in February. And again, I just want to thank August Burns. Again, keep up the great work, and just it's so inspiring, and really appreciative of all the things that you're doing down there. So thank you. Carla, Farris, thank you so much for being here with us this evening, and everybody that joined us. So thank you for being a part of this great community.